World War I, the war that changed humanity forever. In 1914, the world witnessed horror like never before. A single gunshot in Sarajevo, and within weeks, all of Europe was engulfed in flames. Young men marched off to war believing they'd be home by Christmas. But Christmas came and went, and so did the next, leaving only mud, blood, and the screams of dying men. Part 1, Europe Before the Storm. At the dawn of the 20th century, Europe was a ticking time bomb. The great empires, Britain, France, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Russia, were locked in a deadly contest for power, colonies, and prestige. Two rival alliances divided the continent: the Triple Alliance, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, and the Triple Entente, Britain, France, and Russia. It was a web of promises that could turn any local conflict into a global catastrophe. Beneath the surface, tensions simmered in the Balkans. Serbia dreamed of expansion, Austria-Hungary feared rebellion, and Germany, a rising industrial giant, craved recognition and dominance. The world needed only a spark. Part 2, The Shot That Shook the World. June 28, 1914, Sarajevo. Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary and his wife rode through the crowded streets. Then, gunfire. The assassin was Gavrilo Princip, a young Serbian nationalist. 2 shots. 2 lives lost, and a continent pushed over the edge. Austria-Hungary blamed Serbia and demanded retribution. Russia vowed to defend the Serbs. Germany backed Austria. France and Britain stood with Russia. Within 1 month, a chain reaction of war declarations swept across Europe. By August 1914, the world was at war. Part 3, Total War. Germany launched the Schlieffen Plan, a lightning assault through Belgium to crush France before Russia could mobilize. But at the Marne River, the French struck back. The German advance stalled. Trenches were dug, hundreds of kilometers of mud, barbed wire, and death. Soldiers lived and died in filth, surrounded by rats, corpses, and the stench of gas. They called it Verdun, the Somme, the meat grinder. It became known as the Great War. Over 30 nations joined the fight. More than 70 million soldiers took up arms. For the first time, industry itself went to war. A single yard of ground could cost thousands of lives. Strategy gave way to survival. In the east, Germany and Austria-Hungary battled the massive Russian army. At Tannenberg, the Russians were crushed, hundreds of thousands dead or captured. On the seas, the British and German navies clashed at Jutland. In the Middle East, Arab rebels rose against the Ottoman Empire. In Asia, Japan joined the Allies, seizing German colonies in China and the Pacific. Part 4, New Weapons. New horrors. World War I gave birth to the modern battlefield. Machine guns, heavy artillery, tanks, poison gas, and airplanes. April 22, 1915, Ypres, Belgium. German troops unleashed chlorine gas for the first time. Thousands died choking in agony. Humanity had crossed a line it could never uncross. And yet, the slaughter only grew. Each side believed victory was near and fed more men into the machine of death. Part 5, America joins, Empires Fall. In 1917, after German submarines sank American ships and the infamous Zimmermann telegram revealed plans to ally with Mexico, the United States entered the war. Fresh American troops and supplies tipped the balance toward the Allies. Meanwhile, revolution erupted in Russia. The Bolsheviks seized power and signed the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, pulling out of the war. Germany saw a final chance for victory, but its people were exhausted, starving, and losing faith. By November 1918, Allied forces broke through the front. Germany collapsed from within. On November 11th, the guns fell silent. The Great War was over after 4.5 years of devastation. Part 6, The Price of War. 16 million dead, 21 million wounded, a generation lost. The mighty empires of Europe, Germany, Austria-Hungary, the Ottomans, and Russia, lay in ruins. Cities destroyed, economies shattered, millions of families broken beyond repair. People said no one truly won the Great War, only the living survived. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, forced Germany to accept full blame and pay crushing reparations. But humiliation breeds resentment, and from that resentment, a far greater evil would rise 2 decades later, World War II. Part 7, The Legacy of a World at War. World War I didn't just redraw borders, it reshaped the human soul. Those who marched to the front in search of glory returned with shattered minds and haunted eyes. It was the end of innocence and the beginning of modern warfare. A single gunshot in Sarajevo opened the door to an age where technology could destroy civilization itself. They called it the war to end all wars. But it was only the beginning of something far darker. If you wish to continue this journey through history, join us in the next episode, World War II, when humanity descended into hell.